Okay, so the Kansas Jayhawks, they're good. Like, really good. So, let's talk about it. What's up, guys? It's Walt here, back with another video. As you saw in the title and thumbnail, today we are going to be talking about the Kansas Jayhawks men's basketball team. So remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into today's video. So, here's the big question. Can KU pull it off? Can they do something that's only been done twice in the modern era? Can the 2023 Kansas Jayhawks repeat as national champions? Last college basketball season, the Jayhawks capped off an amazing year with the largest comeback in NCAA championship history, led by All-American guard Ochai Agbaji, seniors Remy Martin and David McCormick, along with junior Christian Brown. However, all of these players would go on to declare for the NBA draft and graduate, causing a lot of people to believe that Kansas was going to fall off this year. However, at the time of this recording, KU's basketball team is 13-1, coming off of 2 wins in conference play, preparing to play West Virginia on January 7th. Assuming they win that game, they'll have a good shot at moving up to number 1 in the AP poll. This level of success can be largely attributed to 2 guys who played a major role in KU's championship run last year, Jalen Wilson and Dejuan Harris. Jalen decided to test the waters by declaring for the NBA draft after a sophomore campaign that saw him average 11 points and 7.5 rebounds, along with him nearly averaging a double-double in Kansas's title run. He went through the draft process all the way through the combine before announcing his decision to return to Kansas for his junior season. We are all very excited to hear the news today from Jalen and his family that he will be returning to school for the 2022-23 campaign, Self said in a release. He's gone through the process, and the process did exactly what it is intended to do. It gave him the feedback he needed to make an educated decision. We're proud of the maturity Jalen showed in making the decision and very excited to put him in a position to where he can enhance his opportunities to not only play, but have a long career in the NBA. So far this season, that decision to come back has paid off not just for KU, but for Jalen's chances in the NBA as well, as the junior has had a breakout season now that he's the primary scorer. Wilson is averaging 20.5 points along with 8.5 rebounds on solid shooting splits, playing at an All-American level. The second returning starter for the Jayhawks is point guard Dejuan Harris. Now, Harris isn't a guy whose offensive numbers necessarily jump off the board at you. For example, last year, he averaged 5 points and 4 assists. Nothing that seems really crazy. However, if you watch last year's national championship team, he was the guy that seemed to always make the right play at the right time, boasting a phenomenal basketball IQ. This year, Dejuan has brought his averages up to 8 points and 6.5 assists, having garnered praise as potentially the best, quote-unquote, true point guard in the country. His assist-to-turnover ratio currently sits at 3.25 to 1, ranking 12th in the country. Even only averaging 8 points, this does not mean Dejuan can't score. In his last game against Texas Tech, he put up 18 points, shooting 5 for 5 from 3. Along with his skill as a floor general, Juan really shines on the defensive side of the ball, where he averages 2 steals a game, and just watching this guy play defense is something else. He's a special player. I'd say this season from him has been not too bad for a point guard left off the Bob Cousy Award top 50 watch list. That's right, he wasn't even considered to be one of the best 50 point guards in the country coming into the season. So, with those 2 returning, now as veterans and leaders of the team, along with bringing in Kevin McCullough from Texas Tech and the emergence of KJ Adams, the team has looked really good. However, there is one new addition this season that I think really is the key piece and X factor of this Kansas team getting back to the national championship. Dick. No, not like that. This Dick. Grady Dick. Grady, America's favorite player for reasons, is a 6'8", 205-pound freshman. He's the starting small forward for this team and came into the season fresh off of winning Boys High School National Gatorade Player of the Year, playing high school basketball at Sunrise Christian Academy, a prep school in Bel Air, Kansas. After winning Player of the Year and being ranked number 8 by ESPN in the class of 2022 rankings, Grady came into Kansas with high expectations. And not only has he met those expectations, he's absolutely blown them out of the water. Coming in and instantly making a major impact on the offensive end, Dick is averaging 14.6 points, 5 rebounds, 1.5 steals, while shooting 47.4% from the field, 46.8% from 3, and 79% from the free throw line on high volume. On 11 shots a game with 5 attempts from beyond the arc, Grady is shooting on almost 50-50-80 splits. That is insane efficiency. When it comes to freshman players, they typically do not come in playing at the level Grady has played at so far this year. He is just on another level when it comes to shooting the basketball. Along with his insane offense, Grady, while having room to improve as a defender, has been pretty solid, toting 1.6 steals per game. Although there is still room to grow, I think with his size, length, and athletic ability, he will continue to get better at that end. So I think Grady is really what this team needed. A reliable second scorer next to Jalen Wilson who can catch fire in an instant, and even if the two are underperforming, Dejuan, McCullough, and KJ Adams have all shown they can pick up slack if need be and provide big games. This team is really well-rounded with a lot of guys who can just flat-out play. Besides the starters, the Jayhawks also get some good production off the bench from guys like Joseph Yesufu and Bobby Pettiford. A lot of people thought that Kansas's offense was not going to be as good as last year after losing 4 of their best offensive players in Ochai, Christian, Remy, and David. But if you look at the stats, KU really has not missed a beat this season, averaging almost the exact same amount of points as they did last year and actually shooting with slightly better efficiency. Along with this, their rebounding numbers are essentially the same as last year's. Along with their assists have actually gone up this year from 15 to 18 and averaging 9.5 steals per game rather than only 6 a game. Like I said, this team is good. Like, really good. Now, of course, every team has flaws, and I do have a few reservations with this Kansas team. While earlier I did state that there are guys who can pick up the slack if Jalen and Grady are both having an off night, there has yet to be a third guy that we can confidently look at as the third guy on offense that can step up for those two. We've had a game from Dejuan, we've had a couple from McCullough. Adams has been productive, but we haven't seen consistent scoring from any of those three to be considered a true third option in comparison to last year's national team, whose two main guys were Ochai and Christian, but if those two were having an off night, they had a reliable third option in Jalen to pick up the slack, and as we got later in the year, David stepped it up and became a reliable piece on offense. Then once the tournament hit and Remy was back from injury, you could argue that Remy Martin was the new third option, and some nights the second or even first. This year's team does not really have that, at least from what we've seen so far. My second concern, and maybe this is a mood point, is size. Their tallest players in their core rotation are Jalen and Grady, both standing at 6'8". KJ plays at the 5 but only stands at 6'7", which may be why he only averages 4.5 boards a contest. And while they have a few pretty tall guys off their bench in 6'10 sophomore Zach Clements and 6'11 freshman Ernest Uda, those guys are not a major part of the main rotation, and I'm not sure if Bill is planning on giving those guys more minutes anytime soon. There's also the super senior 6'9", 230-pound Cam Martin, who has been getting a few minutes recently, so maybe we'll see what kind of role he plays. But as of right now, I feel like size and the lack of a kind of for sure set third option are my two biggest concerns. Anyways, many people thought Kansas might just fall off the map this year and that they couldn't be real contenders this year after losing so many starters and key pieces from last year's team. However, they have been exceptionally good this year and look like they have a real shot to repeat as national champions. I mean, what should we have expected? It is a Bill self-led team after all, and that man seems to figure out how to get a 1 seed and a conference title almost every year at this point. So, do you guys think they'll do it and become only the third team in the modern era to win back-to-back national titles? It's a long season ahead, but I'm very excited to see what this team can do. Anyways, thank you for watching today's video. Remember to like, comment, and hit that subscribe button to stay tuned for more videos. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.